Do we shoot them?
You are responsible for every bullet coming out of your gun.
Well, Rhodes,
you need to be able to look at a situation. You need to be able to look at a situation and be able to assess it if there is a threat to life.
the only time you should not follow a chain of command is when you give an order to break the law. Committing murder, that is not following the chain of command. You are to go against it, and if you are to get disciplined for it, then obviously everybody will see your side of things. Because if an superior officer is telling you shoot the unarmed man, and you know he's not a threat, and what you're doing is murder, then do not shoot.
Right, but if that information's coming from another officer, right? I now have a good faith belief. You see the dangerous path this goes down.
I understand, but even a superior officer should not be telling you to, like, if a captain tells you shoot that man, and you don't even know why you're shooting the person you're shooting, and this person's unarmed and they don't pose any threat to you, and you shoot them. I mean, you're committing murder at that point, right?
No, I'm no.
You're following an order.
It does not justify that, right? I mean,
the intent of you being above me in rank is that I don't need to second guess you.
I'm going to contradict you.
You should not follow a chain of command when it comes to breaking the law. That is my stance on it.
I get that, but to counter that, right? You arrive on scene, right? It's a 78's call. You have a superior officer. You're late to the scene. You arrive on scene. Let's say
you don't
myself
have that
makes
information. McNulty's hitting on what we're pointing out.
Let's say I witnessed someone in all black open fire on officer. 78's call, right? Rhodes arrives late on scene, right? Nobody's shooting. I give the order to shoot. That's my responsibility because Rhodes is acting off of my order. He is trusting me.
Oh, let's go through it. So what do you say on the radio? Shoot him?
Yeah, I'm going to say there's an individual on black fleeing, let's say southbound Alta, open fire. That's an order.
Is that fair? Because the description is kind of vague unless you have more
I get that,
right?
but he is operating off what I'm saying because he is trusting me to make that correct call. That is no longer on Rhodes. That call is on me.
I understand what you're saying, but I feel like a call like that would be very vague to where somebody else might get hurt as well.
Yeah, but let's say in the same regard, you put the mayor in that position where he arrives late and he says that guy just fled, arrives on scene, and he gives Rhodes the order to open fire. And Rhodes opened fire.
Okay, let me ask you, this goes to court, and it turns out you shot somebody that is completely bystander, has nothing to do with it, just some asshole wearing all black and a black Seminole going down the south, south on Alta.
Both of them, in that regard, chances are going to be held responsible. But in a scene thing, I don't believe Rhodes will be held accountable for something like that.
But Rhodes shot the gun, right?
I get that, but I am the one giving the order. He is operating off trusting me to be able to articulate probable cause to then enact Tennessee v. Garner and open fire on that motherfucker and end his life.
Let me ask you this. You don't give any context as to wide open fire. Say you have additionals rolling up on scene and you say shoot that black vehicle fleeing right now. Should the officers not?
I'm not asking additional questions. I'm following the order I was given.
Yes, I have. That has happened multiple times where I have given an order to open fire and officers have done it. And I have told multiple officers probably in this room that if a scene lead gives an order to open fire, the scene lead is accountable.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
I'm second this. On this.
And that is where I stand. That is where I stand on the mayor shit as well.
Let me give you an example. It's me and the mayor. We're looking for somebody who hurt the first lady, Shaban. We find this person in a vehicle. And they're willing to surrender. And the mayor says, shoot that person. They're armed. What do I do?
Can we use a different example than Siobhan? Since there's a little bit of
I shoot Siobhan.
I'd shoot them both.
That happened today. That happened. She got attacked and he said shoot.
I would shoot the dog.
But
I mean, if the mayor tells me to shoot somebody who is willing to surrender, I'm going to just get that man to surrender.
Yeah, I think to counter that, my response would be, sir, put your fucking hands up or we are going to open fire on you.
Yeah, right, exactly.
I mean, yeah, it's just...
And if he keeps fleeing, I'm operating on the assumption that he is a violent fleeing felon, and I'm going to case law his ass with a 9mm.
Mm-hmm. Okay, does the mayor know case law?
This is where the problem I'm trying to point out with this question.
Yeah,
the level of...
expertise?
No, just the very problematic aspect somebody
Correct.
not in
How
the
things
police
get messy.
department being the supervisor of the police department
I'm
without
hoping the mayor
knowing
does not
the
put you in that position.
the in and
that-
outs.
Gore would say I shoot the dog.
It's the dog question. Yeah.
Well, Rhodes, you
As
know
the
what you should
dog.
do as well?
Yeah.
You should go down to the mayor's office and enlighten him about our case laws and recite them to him multiple times.
That's
Well,
not
hold on,
my
hold on.
job.
To be fair, looking at the legislation, it's
Fucking
not that the
Lenny.
mayor is in charge. The mayor and the deputy mayor are putting the name.
Lenny!
Howdy, Lenny. How are you doing, Lenny? Oh, and Declan's here too. Howdy, y'all. Well, if you look at legislation, it's they're putting the name forward that's brought forth by the LSPD, right? And then who's going to be overseeing it? Any sort of issues or whatnot? I mean, you have Malton, who I know some of y'all ain't familiar with Malton. Malton was like head honcho for a long time, really, really damn good. So, I mean, I think pretty much anybody here who knows Malton can attest to that.
Okay, what are you saying, Cormac? Because it says moving forward, the mayor's office will act as immediate superior to the law enforcement department of Los Santos on
Yeah,
all
but they're-
matters.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that they're going to sit around and micromanage all that shit. I mean, that'd
That's
probably be obnoxious.
not what I'm saying, but that's a question that's being proposed here right now. Is if this were to take place, how to handle it?
What would you do, right? What would you do if that happened?
If
Oh,
the mayor
that's a
tells me to
wonderful
shoot somebody,
show.
I'm probably going to shoot him. I'm just being honest.
Blindly. You're not going to question at all?
No, but I'm saying it's probably going to, the end result will probably be me shooting their ass. Now, I mean, if they don't surrender or some other shit.
I don't think it's a black and white response. If he says shoot, you shoot. I think
Right,
you look at the
that's what I'm,
totality
yeah,
of the
that's what I'm
situation.
saying.
Is this guy running away with a gun and you just heard shots fired? Do you have a reason to believe that this person just opened fire? Does he have a weapon in his hand? Does he pose a current threat? Right? There's things you have to ask as a police officer.
Right.
Can I open fire on this person? Should I?
Well-
There's always can I and then should I, right?
We're
Well,
saying
no,
is don't-
exactly. That's what I'm saying.
What we're saying is don't black out and shoot. That's the most important thing, okay? Because if that happens, we're going to be in big trouble.
I'd say do your due
Okay.
diligence as the like steps that you would go through. Sir, put your fucking hands up. Put that weapon away. 1 second later, you do what you need to do.
I'm also gonna hope that the mayor isn't gonna be giving orders in the field to folk. I think 9 out of 10 times I'm gonna assume it's gonna be MRPD talking to folk. Like,
we are doing hypotheticals here as well, so that's fine. Rhodes, is this a continuation from your question?
No, separate.
Okay. Carlwood, is this about this question?
Yeah, I want to show an
What?
example. This is some news camera footage that
Okay.
that
I opened
showcases
fire.
this from about 8 years ago. This is one of the first. Some of y'all may have seen this in the past.
Will it work though?
Oh, I remember this.
Hey, get the hell out of here right now! Get the hell out of here right now, or I'll shoot.
Black jacket, yeah, he just ran off. Fucking shoot that guy.
Shoot him! Fire!
Oh my god!
You told
Okay.
him to leave and
Oh my
gunned him down.
Let's get that down from up there. All right.
Suspect down.
Did I
Hardwood.
hear someone scream, "Oh my god!" after he opened fire as well?
Well, I want
what was
to
he posing
clarify.
danger to you? Do you remember if he was he shooting? What
So
was your
here's
realization?
what happened in that scenario was what happened in that scenario was there was I believe it was one of the first times I encountered one of the more prominent gangs in the city, and we ended up getting there in that alleyway, and they had us all surrounded, and people were coming in left and right. We had several officers down. Jack Ripley, which many of y'all know, became a clown, cab wrangler and whatnot.
Literally?
Yeah.
What?
Yeah, he did. Yeah, there's a hell of a lot of folks there. On the radio, you hear Ziggy Bugs, who is Flop's husband.
G6 driver.
Yeah, Ziggy Bugs then commands me to shoot that guy. And I asked him, "What are you doing?" And I told him to get out of here because Ziggy Bugs was my commanding officer. I, pointed my M4A1 at the back of him while he's running away.
Put a bunch of 5.56 in his back.
Yeah.
So-
Put a
so let
bunch
me
of
ask you-
5.56 millimeter ammunition in his back.
So, what was the point of that video?
So the point of that video was Ziggy Bugs, who was the commanding officer in that situation, told me to shoot somebody because we had several people coming in and out of the scene causing problems. Officers were going down, and Ziggy and I think it was Aaron Bison as well on the radio, who told me to gun him down. So I said,
so-
shit, okay. So but the burning falls on them, just like McNulty said. Because I remember that shit happened. They said, well, that ain't your fault. That's, if you're being told that by your commanding officer, that's on them.
Sorry, if whoever these people are, Mr. Bugs and Bison, who sounds like a dork, wanted you to shoot someone because they were just running back and forth.
Well, I mean, it turned out to be that way. I mean, he apparently he looked like one of the suspects, and
Yeah, see,
from a distance.
yeah.
Right.
I would personally, at that point, I would look at that system and be like, yeah, no. If I then learned on the radio that if I heard someone on the radio just go, yeah, just fucking shoot that guy.
Well,
Yeah,
I didn't
no,
know.
that-
I came to the scene late.
What was the
yeah,
original question?
Right.
that guy, I would put his head on a fucking platter.
Repeat the question one more time, by the way, for folks who's just coming in right now.
Basically, Rose, just to summarize what you're saying, if you have a commanding officer tell you to shoot somebody, you shoot them. And if it's the mayor in that scenario, right? Because the mayor, according to that legislation, has a jurisdiction over us, I guess.
Yeah. What I'm saying is, if a superior tells me to shoot somebody, there are no follow-up questions. Not unless I'm privy to information that would make it not make sense. However, if the mayor were to tell me to shoot something, I don't think I am without additional context.
Yeah, I would say do your due diligence there, or pretty much as much as you can on any scene. I obviously trust.
I'm surprised I'm the only person that feels that way. Honestly.
Well, I mean, also keep in mind,
Because
like for me,
you're a trained officer. You just don't black out following chain of command. That makes no sense.
Right,
Where are you
but,
training?
well-
Where everything you've been taught. Decide
Okay,
to go out the
Slacks.
window
I mean, the reason-
because-
Slacks.
reason why-
But like, I trust
Respectfully-
McNulty, and if McNulty makes a call, I'm gonna follow McNulty's
Right.
call. I
But
trust him,
McNulty's
and
not there to see what you're seeing. You're his
Well,
eyes and ears, right?
Well,
if
no, but
I
look at
arrive-
me in
hang
that
on.
scenario.
I think we're all intertwining these questions right now. One person's talking about mayor, one person's talking about a superior.
I'm talking about chain
An
of command.
officer,
I'm
right.
talking about chain of command because the mayor is part of the chain of command now, right? I'm talking about if the chain of command gives you an order.
Not in
Right.
our SOPs.
Yeah,
He ain't
SOP
there
said
yet.
we can get disciplined for not following orders.
Yeah, and then you get dabbed.
And then when
Again,
you get an
context.
SOP, because if you're given an order to break the law through a chain of command, you should not do it. I'm gonna tell you
Okay,
right
so
now.
but you keep saying break the law. We are
Yeah.
not running under
don't
the. We
know.
have no malicious
we just arrived on
intent.
scene.
We-
Gunning somebody down has nothing to do with something. Is murder.
Okay, look.
Simple response. Do your due diligence.
Yeah.
With Slacks,
Well,
I think
we're
you're
not talking-
misunderstanding.
Yeah,
it is not we're not referring to somebody who is likely an innocent civilian. We are referring to somebody who, let's say, in the case of McNulty, witnessed somebody do a crime, and then tells me to shoot them because I'm in pursuit of them.
Right. We're not talking about something as simple as I
I don't-
arrive on scene
yeah.
and Matt Rhodes has somebody cuffed up against a wall and says, "Jackson, shoot him." We're not talking about a
shit.
situation like that.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that. I'm saying, let's say you get a vague description: Black Seminole, all black, shot a cop, gunman, and you see somebody matching that description, and you get an order from the chain of command, shoot that person. Are you gonna shoot?
Yeah, absolutely. At that point, I have a good faith belief that, they're going to hurt somebody or kill them. 100% I'm going to do it.
I mean,
I'm following my chain of command.
Beast.
Yeah, I feel like I just want to clarify this, and the reason why that video is important, that video in particular is important, is because that was me, new to the city, new to policing here, and hearing my superior tell me to
how
do
long
that.
ago was this?
Oh, this is like 8 years ago.
Oh.
So
Gotcha.
yeah. So this is me being brand new, and it was a situation that I think we got a lot of young folks in here. We got a few cadets and whatnot in here. So I think this hypothetical actually is good to talk about because I showed up to the scene late. There's, I think, 3 or 4 officers down in an alleyway. We're surrounded by people, and there's the suspects who committed the crime keep coming in and out of the scene. And then I believe that guy looked like one of the suspects, which is why Ziggy told me to shoot him, because he thought I was the only guy down there. And he's like, oh, this guy's going to come up here and he's going to stab the cadet or some shit,
Right, but that's speculation. That's not facts.
Yeah, well, I mean, but he's my commanding officer.
I understand
Right?
that.
He's my
The-
superior
Understand that.
officer.
But you can't communicate and say this guy's unarmed. He's coming to me right now. What do I do, right?
Yeah, but we didn't
I
know.
would
We didn't
hope
know
and pray
that
to
yet.
God our seniors and captains are better than that. No,
Well, again,
no
again,
offense
to
to
be
your
fair,
husband.
Well, to be fair, if he looked like one of the suspects, if he was dressed similarly, whatnot, and he runs into the scene when there's obviously officers down and gunshots fired, I that is weird as shit to run all the way to the point where he's at from across the road and Ziggy
It
seeing
is.
him with
Don't get me
binoculars
wrong,
or
but
whatever.
Is it worth killing that person or shooting that person?
Is it worth me risking my life sitting there?
You have to articulate that. How is he a threat to you, though? How can you articulate that? How can
He might be a threat to somebody else.
In
I mean,
that
that's Tennessee
situation,
Gardner.
in that situation, his back is turned and he's running the
I
hell
mean,
away.
he was no longer a threat.
We
to me.
caused a
He was no longer
lot
threat to me.
of
However,
turmoil
right,
here.
if I show up to the scene late and we want to talk about case laws, Tennessee v. Garner, right? It's not just about me; it's about others. So if Ziggy saw him prior, right, or whoever the superior officer is saw him prior, believes that he's still armed, and the fact that we have 3 or 4 other officers right next to me downed on the ground, then yeah, absolutely. I mean, that's plenty of suspicion. Now it's unfortunate, and obviously you don't want to do that. And I should have been using a Class 2 firearm in that
Can
situation.
you remember? Was Ziggy reprimanded for that?
I don't remember, to be honest.
Oh.
I mean, I was green. I was green. Yeah, I like I said, I've done plenty of policing before, but not here in Los Santos. But I was real green.
policing.
I mean,
Crane, what do you
can
got back there?
If I could make a comparison, if you're going on scene, I go on scene, I don't know anything that's going on. I don't have probable cause to arrest somebody, but my superior tells me to arrest somebody. I assume they have probable cause. How is that different than the gun situation? Just because it's taking a life, or like, where's that line?
I mean, you're applying lethal force, right? And there's a use of force matrix. How do we go from 1 to 4 or to 5?
Face can I take?
It's one command.
Yeah, yeah.
I think
Yeah.
the point is,
How do we
you
go
tell
from
me
Go ahead.
you tell me to do something, I'm gonna do it.
Exactly.
The
I understand that,
expectation
but
is-
what I'm telling you is you shouldn't black out and follow a chain of command and use that as a crutch to say, well, I follow the order. Like, you still have training. You're a police officer. You went through all that. That
Do
does
you
not go
want
out
me
the
to
window.
interrogate you before I put cuffs on somebody?
No, I mean,
I think there's
understand
a
what you're
bit of a
saying.
difference here in the words
The-
between trusting my officer and
There's some
following an
nuance.
order.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Yeah.
Because also, I mean, here's the thing: if you let's say Slacks, you're in a scene and I'm there, and Slacks, you're like, hey, you gotta shoot that guy. You tell me that, and then I'm like, okay, I know that's not the guy. I know 100% for a fact when we're talking about like burden of proof. Well, I mean, let's say the burden of proof is on me at that point to then show that, hey, this is not the guy that you want me to shoot. You got the wrong guy, and then I will back that up. So, but my natural inclination is to say that, yeah, my superior officer tells me something, then yeah, I should trust him because I should trust the chain of command.
okay, let me ask you this. I approve a pit maneuver for a pit, right? And I said, go pick that person.
Yeah.
And then you're the person who's performing the pit. You're the person who's in primary. You're the person who's right behind the vehicle. But you see a lot of I don't know, folks walking on a pedestrian on the side, and maybe there's a parking lot. There's a gathering. What do you say?
Well, I mean,
I'll pit when safe.
Yeah, that order comes with a caveat of when safe. So it is our discretion at that point, right?
Right.
Hold on. Caveat aside, if you were to tell me to shoot somebody, I understand that there are civilians in the area, but if they have a gun and they're actively shooting, for example, I'm not going to then not shoot them back. That would. There is a risk associated.
I guessing order, because that creates a bigger problem than chain of command, right? That's one.
I just have a quick question. Who disagrees with who here? I just kind of got here.
so essentially, long story short, it's Rhodes is saying we're told to follow the chain of command, and if a superior tells you to do something, you should believe them. But then Slacks is saying you should not, because you should be able to use your own discretion as an officer.
Slack's point is you shouldn't follow an order if it's breaking the law.
Correct.
Right.
That's Slack's point.
I didn't finish talking.
Our point is trusting a senior or a fellow officer that's a scene lead to be able to properly articulate whether or not you should open fire on somebody. Then it's also that where it's like, if the mayor gives you an order to open fire, because technically they are a civilian, not an officer. I see that, the way that I see that, I'm going to articulate that as whether or not it's the mayor, okay? They are not an officer of the law. They are a civilian. At the end of the day, they are a civilian. If the mayor is like, that person shot me, they give me a proper description, okay? I'm able to be like, yo, okay, chase that suspect down. Look for evidence of casings. I found casings. There's blood. Yeah, open fire on that car. Whether or not he's part of the chain of command, he's a civilian. He's not an officer of the law. He doesn't have a badge on his shoulder. You can articulate that with your brain, which I assume we all have, and that we can do. That's what I'm going to do going forward. And if anybody wants to adopt that, go ahead.
Is he our boss?
Yeah, he's our boss. Yeah.
Oh.
I think what I'm trying to say is just don't follow orders blindly. Use your brain as well at the same time. That's all. That's what I'm trying to say. That's all I'm trying to hear. I know about trust, and I fully trust everybody, and I hope you trust me as well. But same time, sometimes we make mistakes.
Wait, hold on. So the mayor is a part of the chain of command?
Yes.
He's absolute power.
Let's kill him.
I'm gonna reword that to oversight.
Just kidding.
Yeah, I see it as more of an oversight thing.
I see it as oversight. If he sees something
Can I
fucking
ask
up,
a question just as a purely I haven't asked anything. I've been listening. Do you guys really think the mayor is going to give an order for you to execute a fucking civilian? Don't we all, in good faith, understand the mayor's power over the PD is a purely administrative power?
that is why I reverted my question to being like, he's a civilian.
Administrative way. The mayor.
That's why I reverted to being like, at the end of the day, he's a civilian. He doesn't have a badge on his shoulder.
Good take. Good take. Thank you, Owen.
Wait, didn't y'all start this by answering and stating he did tell y'all to shoot somebody?
He did say shoot, but like I said, we're gonna shoot anyways. So we shot anyways.
Yeah, but you wouldn't listen to him. He's got administrative power over the PD. Is that even a question of whether he has literal power to order you to execute somebody?
Is it even clarified that way in legislation?
It's clarified that he's a superior to the Los Santos Police Department.
That's what it says in there.
I think the takeaway is he's a civilian.
Okay.
Not an officer of the law. Do your due diligence. Work from there.
Next question.
Rhodes.
I have a question.
Go for Lenny.
No, you can't drive a Taurus.
No, well, first of all, someone's got to do these 37 Charlies. Also, so with this whole mayor thing, let's say hypothetically he tries to seize more power over our department. Perhaps it would be wise for us to form some sort of union, maybe even a militia, in order to protect our interests.
What?
Hi.
All right. I'm currently writing up a report for Moon Moon. 2 characters, 1 story left. I'm kidding.
I like militia
Hang on.
more.
How about we nip this in the bud right now? No.
What?
On the militia or the union?
Both.
I don't want no blue flu in Los Santos. That's what I'm saying.
That's right.
I have a question.
Go ahead.
Go for it, Rhodes.
Declan afterwards.
So when will we be getting sergeants and lieutenants?
Good question.
Very soon.
For shift 2, I can tell you next week.
Yeah.
Most likely shift 3 as well.
We're jamming for next week in general.
Is that for both sergeant and lieutenant, or just
sergeant?
Sergeant.
Okay. Okay. All right. That's promising.
What about lieutenants?
I don't know if I have an exact time frame for that right now. To be honest, it's something we're actually going to be talking about after this meeting, specifically about promotions. I'm going to be completely transparent.
What about Grand Marshal?
Doesn't exist.
TOs.
Oh, okay.
Declan, you had a question?
Oh, hi. Well,
Hi.
it was just a response to the prior conversation. As a cadet, Will Medley's son. As a cadet,
PPO.
I've been responding. No, as a cadet. I'm saying prior to being PPO. I responded to several scenes where officers instructed others to shoot upon arriving, and the hesitation and fact checking by other officers in order to verify that they were able to shoot actually caused more problems, caused more people to get injured and more danger. So I'd advocate for following the instructions the first time and then asking questions later.
How was your communication regarding that? I'm kind of curious. Do you remember, like, what was being told to shoot
Yeah,
upon arrival?
it was very clearly stated over radio several times that a woman had stabbed someone and was actively fleeing in front of an officer who witnessed this from Senor Buns. The lady then held up a man at knife point on the street corner, stole a bike, and started pedaling away. Officers were ordered to shoot her if she didn't surrender. She didn't surrender. They didn't shoot. She then reversed direction, causing a crossfire. Officers then opened fire on her only after verifying all of this information 4 times over radio, and thus almost shot at Cornwood and I with bullets pinging off our car.
Oh
Woman then was
shit!
pinned
Yeah, I remember
off
that.
of her bicycle by Cornwood and I. She
What
was
the-
on the ground getting up, and I shot her, and then everyone was like, "Why are you shooting?"
Yeah, that was some bullshit.
So
actually,
I'm just pointing out that
When was
all of this second guessing and like hemming and hawing and let me evaluate for myself because I don't trust the chain of command is bullshit, and it can actually cause more danger than good.
I mean, I can definitely see that. It's about trust in here, right? We trust each other, right? And
Sorry, Slacks. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
What did you just do?
Yep.
So, people know my take here about if I give an order to open fire, I can articulate the shit out of what I'm trying to do. As I would trust anybody here it is, right? A concurrent problem that I'm seeing where it's like I will read a scene and be like, why wasn't the order to open fire given? And I think it's because, and this is just, please tell me if I'm wrong, there are articulating to open fire and potentially take someone's life is obviously
We
a
did
big
not
choice.
intend on asking.
That is a scary choice
that
to make.
wasn't even
and if
like
you fuck up, if you fuck
like
up
burning question Rhodes was gonna
shoot
ask.
someone, wrongfully so, you are going to be held responsible. You are going to be put in front of superior officers. Chances are you are going to be dapped for excessive force. And let's say that that person dies, you are potentially facing charges for attempted murder because you wrongfully articulated shooting that. And that is a scary thing. And I think a lot of people on the force are afraid to make that choice. And I think
they
even
be
when
in command positions, then
let me finish. That is why I think certain people that give that order, I've given the order to open fire a lot of the times because I know how to articulate it. I fucked up once, but that was because of a situation where I was robbed of my firearm and I stupidly chased down the person with a baton in my hand while they had no lethal in their hands, but I knew they were armed. That was a fuck up on my part. I have no shame in admitting that. But I think some people are afraid to make that call because they are afraid that if they fuck up. But one thing that I think people learn when they go through their training phase is Tennessee v. Garner. That is a case law that saves our ass and protects us as long as we are properly able to articulate it. Has someone been driving a fucking truck through the city at 90 miles per hour nonstop and we've attempted to pit it? Warn them. Do not be afraid to use your like OG policing to shoot someone. As long as you are properly able to articulate it, and you'll be fine. Just my word of advice, if you're opening fire, and after you open fire, can you stand in front of a judge and articulate that? If the answer is yes, open fire.
Justify shooting.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, you brought it up, but I was even gonna say that situation where me and you opened fire on that truck. Like,
yeah,
that's one you brought up. Last resort, we tried every other way. It was the last resort. We used lethal. And then that son of a bitch jumped off a bridge.
Jumped off a bridge and then tried to sue us.
Yep.
You made me kill myself, he said.
Yeah, a good example.
Yeah,
is
now I'm going to do crime forever.
We had a truck drive through the city at 90 miles per hour all over the place. We made a good faith effort. Spiking. No way we were pitting that thing. It had a trailer on the back that hit a pole and blew up.
Yeah.
And then we were like, yeah, we're opening fire on this thing because we have made every good faith attempt to end this pursuit without lethal means. Then this guy pulls up to Mirror Terminal Overpass, gets out of the cab after Aldo opens fire, and jumps off the top of the bridge and into the water. and then tries to sue us because we can't find him in the water and we are causing bodily harm.
Yep.
Was he one of these fish people that had gills and lived in the water for 20 minutes?
Yeah, he
ought to
jumped
have
off the
been.
Miriam Turner overpass and then tried to blame us for damages. And lo and behold,
That was
I'm not
Jason
seeing any
Peter or
court
Jason
case.
Peters?
Yep.
Yep.
I shot a single shot, caught him on his shoulder, then he jumped off the bridge and bled it out in the water.
And the reason there's no court case is because I can articulate the hell out of opening fire.
Yep.
And if anybody's
Good shit,
afraid to
Aldo.
do that,
I know Rami came down here, was a lawyer also, tried to inquire about that, and I explained to him what happened, and he was good with it too as well, so.
Yeah, if anybody is feels like they're unable to articulate that, from cadet officer, approach a senior and be like, hey, I feel like I might need more training on this. Speak to us.
100%.
Lethal is our strongest means to end anything.
Strongest means in the last resort.
Yep.
Lenny.
Sir, yeah, sure. I have been recently informed that we do not have qualified immunity. Are we working together in order to figure out a way to give ourselves that, perhaps by staging certain events that would allow us to have that judicial-wise?
We ain't got qualified immunity?
Wait, we don't have qualified immunity?
I was under the impression we had it.
I've been under the assumption that we do.
Dakota,
thought
would
we
you
did
like to come up
too.
here and speak on that in any way, shape, or form?
So I can speak on it.
Well, first I want to hear Dakota. I'd like to hear Dakota.
No, I thought he
Dakota,
was.
and then
I
Cody,
thought he
you can
was.
speak on it afterwards.
Yeah, no,
Go
Dakota,
forward.
Dakota, go ahead. I thought
Be the
maybe you was
liaison. Woo!
Law liaison.
Okay.
Yeah. Dakota?
Lenny, can you expand on that a little bit? Did someone tell you that? Where'd you hear that from?
I just heard it from some guy.
Oh.
I was like, hey, you better back the fuck away from my car. I'm gonna put a bullet in your head. And he said, oh, well, wouldn't want to do that without qualified immunity. And I call him a pussy.
Wait, why were you escalating?
What?
How did he feel about that?
It was at Mosley's, man. That place is a war zone. I was just trying to watch my back.
Did he pose
Okay,
a threat to you or something?
real quick.
maybe
I
we
don't
do
know.
have qualified
We can have a
immunity.
chat about that one after,
yeah,
but
well,
I think we do have qualified immunity.
Okay. I could have been mistaken, but I believe I was pretty much told that exact same thing. Like, I would say like an hour ago, but I was like apparently 3 hours ago. We've been here a long time, and that was by the mayor. So
that we do or do not.
that we do not,
We do not have qualified immunity.
I mean, everything. Look,
because it's not been established yet.
Could I rebut that?
Is it in writing? Because I don't really read too good. So
I have something to bring up.
Huh?
I went
Wait,
to a bench
please.
trial and
Hold
spoke
on,
to.
Flops. Please tell me you can read and write, Lenny.
I can't. I'm just not good.
No, you can.
bullshit.
I've watched you read the.
No, that's
You wrote the
bullshit.
world's longest statement in the world. Don't even.
That's better
Next.
than Bob
I've
Eagle.
got a ghostwriter.
Yeah, take it away, Flop.
You
Sorry.
did a
Flop, go for it.
2 minutes.
I went to a court case. I had a case that happened on the docket. It ended, so be it. During that court case, the mention of the Brady violation came up, and the judge that was presiding had stated that there is no such thing as a Brady violation. In the same context, I went to a bench trial weeks after, unrelated to that case, and that judge told me that, yeah, there's no Brady violation on paper. Doesn't mean I'm not going to acknowledge it. I've had conflicting statements regarding what is and isn't in our Department of Justice. I don't know if we have qualified immunity. If we're being told we don't, that's one thing. But we also don't have anything in writing about the Brady violation. But I've also been told by 2 different judges that one says no, one says yes.
Wait, what's clarified immunity?
Qualified.
That's when you separate the fats from the impurities in the butter.
Pretty much.
Thank you, Double Tree.
That's it.
That clarified immunity. Oh, sorry.
Do we can we find out?
I will get
Yes.
clarity on it for you.
Yeah.
Yes.
Thank you.
Thanks,
I-
Dakota.
I don't want to have to hesitate
Dakota.
to put one. between
I
their
understand,
eyes.
Lenny. I hear you loud and clear. I got you.
Thank you, sir.
Any other questions?
Hmm.
So
You can ask anything.
okay.
Corwin?
So as far as the qualified immunity thing goes, the answer that I've heard so far is we have an assumed qualified immunity right now, but it's not written. It's not specifically written into anything.
I'm gonna go ahead and say that we do.
Yeah, we.
And
So
let's not let the public know.
Yeah.
No. I think we need this in
And then
writing.
let's find the guy who
We need
said that
something
to
in
you and throw him
writing.
off a bridge.
Well, we know.
I think
So
it has to be in legislation if it's going to be, acted upon, right?
right.
Correct.
So this is something that, I mean, again, this is from my lawyering experience from last week. Qualified immunity is not something that's actually written down on paper anywhere right now. And even though it's not, it's an assumed qualified immunity. So I know Xavier Monroe was someone who was trying to get some push to get this done. Declan, has your grandfather talked to you about it at dinner table or anything? Or
I haven't talked to him in years.
oh, okay, never mind.
He got disowned. Sorry.
Who's your grandfather?
Crane.
Chief Justice Crane?
Yep.
Does he know that you're a huge weep?
Yeah, I took the money he gave me for law school tuition and absconded to Japan.
Oh, how does he feel about that?
Probably not great, but I don't care. I am the main character.
What a rebel.
Okay.
All right. We'll get clarification on that and hopefully get something in writing. And Nakota will pursue that.
I have a question, but it's for the group in general. Is there anything?
Declan has a question too as well afterwards.
Is there anything you would like to see? I want to say us as command, but also the PD in general do better.
Delegation.
Agree.
Delegation in regards to, let's say, what, command in general or the PD in general?
I just don't want to have to bug a captain to approve my warrants. That's all.
That might be fixed here in a week, Lenny.
Yeah.
When I say delegation, I'm talking responsibility falling more on others internally. I'm not talking about outside. I'm talking about more within the PD. I think delegation would be very healthy. I think part of that does come with chain of command. I think part of it comes with opening up. Maybe I've even suggested something along the lines of a PNT, something to hopefully alleviate stress from the top and allowing others to hopefully take on some burden. I think it would definitely do some very healthy impact to the PD.
I will say just
PNT?
Yeah, I will back up. Slacks is pretty much. I mean, I'm just gonna speak from shift 2. It's pretty much put it on the seniors to be like, hey, you guys are gonna be interviewing people. Get me a full list of names. You're gonna be like, when it comes to the hiring in regards to shift 2 FTO and all that, we've been kind of handed the, I want to say, steering wheel to that, and he's opened up more delegation and allowing seniors to do that.
Which is the direction all shifts are going.
Yeah, the seniors are run academies basically, right? They're going to be basically the folks running these academies, so it makes sense to go through them as far as that. Now, as far as PNT, when it comes to it, I'll give you my honest opinion. I think having a department focused on that creates, sometimes a culture where only certain folks that know certain people get hired and friends get hired, instead of having the captain or members of high command know exactly who's being brought into the police department to understand who they are, their personality, how they fit in with us, and the culture we're trying to build.
Anything else? Anybody else feels like we can do questions like, hey, we can do this better? What if we streamline this?
Declan.
Green?
Hi. Saratsu,
hello.
Thank you, Senpai, for offering us the opportunity to ask anything on our mind. I was wondering if anyone else thinks that Trey's Kushranada is overlooked as an antagonist. It's like he never gets mentioned alongside like Johan Liebert or Griffith or Shogo Makashima or Dio Brando. But he's extremely well written.
Objection, weeb.
About cartoons.
What in the fuck are you talking
I have
about?
an answer. I think all of us.
Yeah, he's trapped in this Gundam Wing universe with all these little kids, and it's like a teeny bop thing. But he's like
all
a
of us agree
well-written
with you.
political antagonist.
We all
with
agree,
like
yeah.
actual views.
I'm very confused at what's going
Lenny,
on
I've been
here.
watching the Elf you recommended. Okay, it's pretty good.
Which one?
Should I
The
send
one that never
should I
dies?
send him on a side quest or something?
Oh yeah, that one is good.
Declan, if you're gonna bring up one of the shows you watch, could you at least do Gilmore Girls?
Huh.
That's one of my favorite animes.
No, mine's Bobby in the House.
All right.
Corey.
Let's run
That's
this
a
back
Raven?
in, all right. I'm not sure what language. What do you?
Japanese cartoons.
Turner, they're talking
Japanese
about
senpai.
like Japanese like cartoons.
Back in my day, this guy's head would be in
Oh.
a fucking toilet bowl by now.
Okay.
Back in my day.
He's not wrong.
Forte, go for it.
There's an obvious morale and retention issue across the PD. What are the supervisor and command's next steps to fix those issues?
Identifying the issues would definitely be a place to start.
What we're doing right now is also step number 1, right? Trying to open that dialogue.
Absolutely.
For me in shift 2, I've gone up to, or I've started to call every single individual officer and PPO and non-solo cadet to talk to me one-on-one and see what they want to do in the police department. That way I can try and empower them in those positions and try and get them going in the right direction for what they want to do.
For me, in regards to morale, when this is gonna sound silly, when it's like, back when you were a kid, back in school, and when you would do a good job, your teacher would give you a gold star, and back when you were younger, that'd be like, hell yeah, I did well. Something clicked in my brain weeks ago, months now, I guess at this point, where if someone does a good job, that shit should be hyped up to the moon. When someone gets when someone gets a 95 in a custody, considering someone breaks cuffs 9 times in a goddamn row, when someone gets someone in the cuffs, someone lands a spike, someone gets in a good pit, when somebody like locks in an investigation, that stuff needs to be hyped up internally in the PD, because let's be honest, we take a lot of L's, and that's fine. That is not part of PD life. That's life. You win some, you lose some. The L's, that's whatever. You brush them off. But the wins need to be like, fuck yes. We just did like a 30-minute pursuit. We had everybody locked in. Comms were locked in. Pits were locked in. Spikes were locked in. Foot pursuit was locked in. When people do a good job and get that reward, people need to be reminded that, yeah, we did a good job. And yes, it's a very simple, I'm just going to say a very simple-minded fix to a big problem. But we're all human beings, and when we do a good job, we want somebody to be like, fuck yeah, you did a good job. And personally, I respond well to that. And I had a day where I was like, morale is in the toilet. And I gave myself a task where I was like, I'm going to hunt down. I actually remember very clearly. Cornwood responded to a bunch of G6 robberies. And he was getting raw dogged by a bunch of Australians in clubs. They bent him over the side of the club and were like, you're my little bitch boy, little piggy boy. Why don't you oink for me?
It wasn't.
And he started oinking. He started oinking.
Okay, well,
squealing away. And they spanked his little bare bottom.
Okay,
and he was like, please. And I was like, this is fucked up. So the next day I woke up, I got on Main Freak, got in shift 2, and my goal was, we are going to put these guys behind bars. And we did exactly that. And not only did we do that, we did it twice. And with
the shirt off.
When we got them in the bars, I hyped it up, because morale, when we take a bunch of L's back to back to back, that shit is demoralizing. So when you get on there and someone actually succeeds, hype that shit up. Give yourself a task and push as much as you want to accomplish it. Like with Lenny in the back.
Was success for sure.
Like with Lenny in the back approaching 37 Charlies. That's his goal. And I guarantee when he does it, he loves that shit.
Yeah.
Right. And we should rally behind him when he does a good job.
I have a suggestion, sirs, if it's okay.
Oh.
Why don't we take turns hyping up?
Let's hear like an icebreaker. I like
it. Let's start with Slacks. Hype me up for fucking pitting a guy into a wall.
Jesus Christ.
Good job, lady. Good fucking work.
Yeah. Aldo.
Hold on. If that happens on radio, I'm gonna be like, yo, Slacks, you good status? What the fuck's going on? You got shot at right now.
I'm not
Let's
voting
fucking go, Lenny.
Yeah, Captain Turner.
Good pit, Lenny. Well done.
Yeah.
Right,
I'm gonna have to take a rain check, guys. I can't get loud.
Hell yeah, brother.
All right, Bones, give me your best not loud hype moment.
Hey, good shit, Lenny. That was sick. That was
Yeah,
some
Mr.
good shit
Flat.
out there.
I also got a rate check. I can't afford a noise complaint, but good
I'm
shit,
gonna
Lenny. I'm
cash
proud
this
of you.
in later. Barrick.
Sounds good.
Hell yeah, you just fucking killed that guy, Lenny. Good shit.
Yeah.
Oh, I like that one.
I'm a big fan of saying that's what I'm talking about. That's what I'm talking about.
Exactly.
I love this.
But like, we
Good fucking shit,
Nice.
Cornwood.
Nice.
I'm gonna add on to that and just be like, we as officers, we go out there and we take a lot of fucking
What?
shit.
I was leaning back in my
We take a
chair.
lot of crap. You know, well, at the end of the day, we are normally viewed as the fun police. We are ending people's like, I'm trying to do this, I'm trying to do that. You're getting in the way of me doing this. You take a lot of shit, and that's why I think it's very important when we as PD officers succeed internally, we hype that shit up.
McNulty,
I'm gonna be the hype man
Yep.
whenever I'm on radio.
were you aware that that all these other jobs out in the city, them bosses be giving out gold stars to people? I did group 6 for one day, and I was told if I continue, I'm gonna keep getting gold stars. I never been told that in the police department.
I didn't know that until my partner was like, oh my, you know, Joey down at towing, nearly at max gold stars. I was like, what?
Rhodes,
They're like,
you
oh,
want laps instead
yeah,
of
he likes me a lot. I'm nearly at max gold stars.
Wait, do I want
I'm like,
what?
I'm like, what?
winning action points instead of this point action points.
No, we don't need
No,
WAPs.
I don't want a WAP.
I mean, WAPs.
I'm married.
Waps.
No, it's not a WAP. It's a WAP.
It's a
like,
WAP.
like,
It's a WAP.
as funny as that is,
Be currency.
I genuinely just want people to be like, when you are on a pursuit, whether there's no seniors, hype that shit up.
Slacks, you may not be hip to this, but
you know, I don't
WAP
mind
stands for wet ass pussy.
Thank you.
Actually, who's
Hold
okay?
on, hold on.
Okay, how about we do an actual police work?
How about, you know,
Turner, it stands for wet ass pussy.
No, it doesn't.
No, it does.
It's a
It's a
song.
song.
Somebody check on her, please, over there. Somebody check on
Sorry,
her.
are you okay?
Oh my god!
What?
Oh,
Is she okay?
It's not
Hell
good to
yeah,
ask.
Sawyer,
How much
that's
longer
what
is
I'm
this shit
talking
going
about.
on for?
See what I mean, guys?
This meeting might have went on a little
Fuck
too
yes.
long.
Yeah, when you emails down here, she's food in her mouth.
EMS 105.
Okay,
This
I have
is
food.
fun,
Make
everyone.
it drop.
Go do the same.
You know,
love
you guys
my
know
ass.
that? You guys know that
There's
song?
no EMS
Yeah.
on duty right now.
Okay.
Okay.
Well, if we go the
No,
gold
man.
star route, I
Yeah,
hope we can
all
get
right,
some more
yeah,
this
yeah,
Monday.
yeah,
This
yeah,
house.
sure.
We get enough
There's some
gold stars.
whores in this house.
All right.
There
I'm
is
just-
a hole in
It's
the
right
house.
It's right there for you.
Hold on. Abu wanted to give a 2-minute
Gotcha.
speech.
It's
Oh,
too
yeah,
late
Boo.
for that, brother.
No, you
I'm
got
gonna
this.
put everyone
No,
to
you
sleep.
got this.
Yeah, come on.
Wait, you
No,
want
Abu,
you guys
get
want
up
to speak?
here.
All right,
You
all right.
said I have a speech. You're giving a
time,
speech.
everybody. Speech time.
I can't hear myself.
After a boo, I think we send
There
this
you go.
off with one final finale.
I don't like pizza.
But go ahead.
Go ahead, Abu.
Hello.
Abu's
is this
65 years
micro-
old, by
I
the
don't
way,
like pizza.
and is
Here.
like 1 foot in the grave, by the way.
and somehow looks
I'll
like
take a
Saul
I got fries, too.
Leisman in his prime. How's that
Thank you
work?
very much. Thank you very much. Hey, is this microphone here working? Everyone here?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
we can hear.
It's called a microphone.
That's right, the microphone. Correct.
You drink?
All right. So
I
to
have
start
water.
off, my name is Abu Jafar. I am cadet with the LSBD.
Hello,
For
Abu.
those who don't knowing me, it's a pleasure meeting. How is everyone doing today, huh?
Hell yeah,
Doing
good.
okay.
I'm going through it.
All right, that's good. Hey, so I've been noticing recently, tensions are a little bit high. It's all good, it's happening, right? But I want everyone here in this room to look to your left and then look to your right and tell me what you're seeing, huh?
Captain Turner staring at me.
A brother and sister.
Cornwood's ass and
Wait, who said that? Who said who said the brother and the sister?
Me.
All right, there you go. That's the answer I was looking for. See, brother and sister, right? We're not just co-workers here. We're not just fellow officers, right? We are the big family, correct?
I make love to my sister.
Oh God, Lenny.
Oh,
right.
Hey, who doesn't?
Hey, whatever
Make
floating
love to
your
his
boat,
sister.
all
That's
right?
what I meant. Oh.
Anyways,
different kind of
we're
movie.
one big. Anyways, we are one big family here, right? And like Vin Diesel said, there is nothing stronger than family, correct?
Family.
Amen.
Correct.
Except steel
So-
beams.
Walking
Gonna be
Dawson
60K
fraud
from each of
case.
you.
Yeah.
Steel beams.
For
Abu,
the
you
record,
realize?
I'm not out loud confirming that I'm related
It's
to
gonna be
anyone here.
60K.
Also, guys, really quick, right? you know, is like respect is like a someone that's bisexual, right? It goes both ways. So if
oh, like the lady in the bee movie that has a sex with a bee.
Correct. So make sure you're doing respect, giving respect, taking respect goes both ways. It's very, very, very important to have a very good, high-functioning police department while everyone is doing the respecting each other, right? So pretty much with respecting,
Chat,
with
do
the
y'all
love,
remember?
with the family, we can grow like a big tree with multiple branches that all work together, right?
Kind of looks similar to this.
So keep up the branches. So everyone.
Chat, y'all remember this?
All right.
Just gonna post it in chat.
A big tree has a lot of branches, but
Stop
it's
saying
always strong, right? Anyways,
it's not gonna link properly.
God damn it, Cludish.
Sorry, it's my indigestion.
Anyways,
sure that
I
wasn't
want to
Lenny?
give a
Next
quick
time, do it in
shout
the
out
bathroom.
to all the
Yeah.
FPOing because I know it's a hard job, especially dealing with the cadets.
Hey, policing's a
If you
hard
copy
job.
that entire link,
Correct. I want to give.
y'all
a
ever remember
special
seeing
shout out
this?
to the Mabel? To
yes,
the,
and
to the,
your name would be on
Ruby,
that
to
left
the
side.
Slag, and to the 133.
And then, like, you
who is,
know,
mean
whether
to
it was a
me.
date or
Sometimes he's
whatever.
yelling at me, but hey, you know
And then you
what?
get gold stars to put in every one of
It
those
comes
fucking
from a
squares.
good place.
Minutes, to be fair.
And
Thank you. Mostly
yeah, of
hate
course.
is where it comes from.
And,
Felty's always yelling at me.
I'm not. I am. I am not. Fuck.
He's all
and,
talk, but deep inside he's a soft.
personal statement
catch.
to close out this speech. Beef shawarma is better. All right. Thank you very much.
Agreed.
Okay.
Agreed.
Chicken?
Thank you very much.
Mayonnaise.
It's chicken.
It's garlic sauce.
Chicken
Sorry.
shawarma is
Excuse me.
beta to the alpha that is beef
Well,
shawarma.
then I guess I'm a beta and I get
Yeah,
the title
yeah.
of bottom because I like fucking chicken.
Yeah, of course you are.
But what
Ziggs is
about
definitely
falafel?
fucking Ziggs is definitely the top.
And also,
Who said
Jesus.
falafel? Who
Couple
said
more-
falafel?
couple more things.
I
one of
suggest
which,
that points
Oh,
for
he's
that
fired
person.
up.
There's something on that.
there are 24 people in this room, Abu, and you said brothers and sisters. That's 24 times adoption frog.
Oh my god.
Oh my god.
How do you plead?
Brothers and sisters don't oppose
Guilty.
that charge.
They do actually.
They do.
Really?
Yep.
Yeah.
Is there anybody who's related?
Well, someone said from back there that they do the shambuli with their sister.
I'm legally married to my sister, and I
Let's-
put my penis in her vagina frequently.
All right, arrest that man,
All
please.
right.
Permission
well-
for arresting.
Okay,
Abu,
well, I
here's-
think
here's
that's
what I'm
enough
gonna
Lenny
It's not
Hawk for me
illegal.
today.
I'm
Wait,
gonna
you
use
said it's
my
not illegal?
I'm gonna use my officer discretion
Bro.
here, and I'm not gonna charge
I'm
you.
not-
Okay, there's gonna be a warning
Show
for
me the law that
$14
it's
million
illegal.
or whatever that
That's-
was.
How come it's not coming up? I tried to put a thing up there.
Oh, you got to
That's-
change it.
So she
Did
said,
you
Guys,
do the
let's all
fix?
go out on patrol and catch some criminals. Let's get
Inshallah.
Hell yeah!
Inshallah.
That's
let's
what I'm
go.
talking about.
Quickly, if anybody
Oh,
wants to
Rosa,
talk, if anybody wants to talk,
Oh, never mind.
possibly after, we'll be
Captain's
available.
office.
I
Fix
will
the captain's
also
office.
not be
But first-
patrolling.
How do you
Yeah.
fix it?
We're gonna be up in the captain's office.
Using my special workaround that I
I
made.
pledge allegiance
Okay.
to the flag of the United States of America
Here's my
and to
workaround
the
using the
republic
workaround.
for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
And justice for all.
Honor the Texas flag. I pledge
Texas
allegiance
flag.
to
I
the
pledge allegiance
Texas, one state,
to Texas,
under God,
one state,
one
under
and
God,
indivisible.
indivisible. With
Amen.
amening.
Let's go kick some
Alright.
ass.
Kick some ass,
Corn, would I
everybody.
finish the report, by the way?
Yeah.
Oh, thank you. I appreciate it.
Perfect. Look, we need one of those for gold star.
Yeah, there we go. Just like kitty gardeners. We need one for good boy points and bad boy points. That's what we need. Just like kitty gardeners.
Oh my god, dude. I forgot about those.
Did you get flashbacks?
A good noodle
Yeah,
chart.
Dude, I got whiplash from the flashback of that, dude. That was
Right.
crazy.
Honestly, I think it would kind of bang.
Come here.
It would actually be great. It'd make me feel real good.
Hey, all I'm gonna say is thank God you and I were in there, because that shit was brutal for the first like 30, 40 minutes of that.
Yeah, I'm be real. It was.
Everybody's scared as shit to talk, and I'm like, okay, we gotta say some shit. Honestly,
listen,
at one point I was
there
like,
is-
if it wasn't for me, you and Lanny coming in, that thing would have been just miserable. Holy shit.
Yeah, maybe I understand newer individuals being afraid.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I was like, man, we got too many young folk in there to have that conversation. I was worried as shit that everybody's gonna lose their mind.
Yeah, as was I. Oh, give me a second. I need to request permission for a tourist so I can do my job.
Oh yeah.
Barrick.
Hello.
I can have permission, Taurus?
So.
Thank you.
Okay.
Okay, perfect. I did my job. Now I can properly do my job by keeping up with people. But yeah, you're not wrong. I didn't really like that the question that took the longest was, you know, the mayor and them telling us to do something. That wasn't even like a necessarily like hard-hitting question, but there was a lot of wishy-washy responses there.
Yeah, wasn't that odd?
Yeah.
I mean, and you know what's crazy? Who were all the folks that were saying, yeah, of course you listen to your superior officer because you trust them to do their job right?
Uh-huh.
That's that we should.
I'm under the assumption Slacks was very.
I think he was being like he's being a pussy. And like, come on, Slacks. Like,
I think he actually misunderstood at first. I think he was under the assumption that, you know, mayor tells me to execute somebody in cuffs because he don't like him. I do it. No.
Oh.
I'm talking
I
like.
don't know how that scenario even came up. Maybe I misunderstood.
No. That's not how I wanted it to be I wanted it to be worded like, Slacks, you were primary on scene. You were privy to the and this actually happened. Slacks ordered us to shoot somebody. It was a situation where I shot Mr. Paul at the laundromat. You were there. You remember that?
Yeah.
So in that situation, right?
You had every reason to believe he had a gun. And it is what it is.
And so based on that, you know, I wanted to know whether or not that same thing applies to the person who is now the direct superior to the police department. Now, Owen back there can say it's an administrative thing. That's not how it's worded at all. If he's the direct supervisor of one of us, he can do any of what we're doing.
Right.
So, I don't know.
I think you are 100% on the money. I mean, it was hell, I'm just glad you were here.
Oh, you know what? Let me help you out. Let me push that radio just a little. It's
Oh yeah, no, it's I got this clear. You know what? I'll just put my vest on.
Yeah, you know that.
Yeah, years ago, I used to be able to carry a change of clothes with me, and it wasn't an issue.
Ah, I see what you're getting.
Yeah.
Give me one second.
Now.
Hello.
Hey, Rhodes, you busy?
Yes, unfortunately.
Okay.
Hi, what's up?
If you can give me a call back when you're not, I just got a couple things I want to talk to you about.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right. Bye. All right. Yeah. I don't know, man. I don't know. Things are definitely more promising. My husband finally got his interview at Turner.
You know,
I hope that went well.
I hadn't seen him at all since since I came back to the city. I ain't seen Richard.
Well, you heard about dispatch and people getting hired for dispatch who once they were informed that it wasn't a stepping stone into the police department, they withdrew. But my husband wants nothing to do with the police. He doesn't want to become a police officer. He wants to do dispatch from the ground up.
Yeah.
The fact that it has taken this long, I think, is concerning, because we are going to lose quality people the longer and longer they're pushed aside.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think we had this conversation like, what was it, a month ago?
You're talking about the one we had right over there?
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
Yeah. I mean, look, this is I mean, since then, it's been brutal recently for me personally, because you know what I was doing around that time. What I kept doing was I started actually like speaking up and pressing on shit and going to the captains and going to people and being like, hey, this is how people feel, because people keep coming to me and feeling this way, and I kind of ended up becoming a damn target, because they kept saying, how come nobody else says this? Like, you're causing problems, this shit and that, like just all kinds of crazy shit about me. So that's what I mean. That's eventually leading to me getting suspended. I'm like, hell, because they trust me and I'm around all the damn time because I listen to them. So I mean,
you were suspended at this time, but I pulled slacks aside. This was a day or two before Turner's return. I pulled him aside and I said, listen, right now, things in shift 3 are dire, okay? I told him, I said, we have 11 full officers in shift 3. Of those 11, 6 don't show up. Which means that there's 5 that do. Of those 5, they're all FTOs. Of those 5, every one of them is burnt out, not just from training,